Universal Studios producer, director, Mrs. B. Scene 1. Hello, boys and girls around the world. Yes, my name is Mrs. B, and I'm a teacher in the United States. I'm so glad that you're able to join me today for a very special read aloud. But before we begin, I have a hello song just for you. And this is how it goes. Hello, boys and girls around the world. Hello, boys and girls around the world. How are you? How are you? I'm glad you're here to read and learn. We know we'll have some fun today. We love school every day. And so will you. I know Mrs. B has a terrible singing voice, but I so wanted to share a song with all of you, boys and girls. The book that I selected for today's read aloud is called Tacky the Penguin. This book was written by Helen Lester. She is the author of the book. And the person that drew the pictures is called an illustrator. And that person is Lynn Munsinger. Boys and girls, this is the front or the cover of the book. If we turn it over, this is the back of the book. Let's turn it back over to the front. Now look at the title and the picture. What do you think that this story is going to be about? Yes, Tacky the Penguin, which is in the center here, boys and girls. There'll be some other characters that we will see in the story, but Tacky will be the main character. And Tacky is a different type of penguin. He does cannonballs when he goes into the water. He's very different, and it's okay to be different, boys and girls. We shall find out more about this penguin. Boys and girls, I want eyes and ears on Mrs. B because I'll be asking you questions throughout the story, and then you're going to have a test at the end. And then I have 2 activities that you can do at home with your parents. Boys and girls, it's important to pay attention because reading means understanding the author's message. It just doesn't mean calling out a bunch of words. If you cannot answer comprehension questions after you have read a page, then you have not truly read anything. So it's important to pay attention. Are you ready for Mrs. B to begin? Boys and girls, when we read, do we read left to right or right to left? We read left to right. We go to the next line and read left to right. And then the last line, left to right. And when you begin a sentence, you need a big letter, the first letter in the word, or it's called a capital letter or uppercase. There once lived a penguin. His home was a nice, icy land he shared with his companions. And boys and girls, penguins need a very cold area to live. They cannot live in a warm climate or warm weather because they'll die. His companions were named Goodly, Lovely, Angel, Neatly, and Perfect. What names for penguins! His name was Tacky. Tacky was an odd bird, boys and girls, and here are his friends. And how many friends does he have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Can you show me 5, boys and girls? Wiggle your fingers, your 5 fingers. Good job. And there is Tacky, the odd bird. Every day, goodly, lovely, angel, neatly, and perfect greeted each other quietly and politely. Tacky greeted them with a hearty slap on the back and a loud, "What's happening?" And there they are greeting one another. Boys and girls, let's make a prediction. A prediction is when we guess what's going to happen next in the story based on clues in the words and also pictures. And boys and girls, what makes you a good reader is if you predict right or wrong. That makes you a good reader. So never give up making predictions in storybooks. So let's see what's going to happen next. Put your thinking caps on. Because I see that the penguins are going to start jumping into the water. They dive. I wonder what Tacky is going to do. Goodly, lovely, angel, neatly, and perfect, always marched. Tacky always marched 1, 2, 3. Then he went 4, 2. Then he went 3, 6, and 0. Then he went 2.5 and 0. Look at the other penguins. They marched in a single file line, and they would march 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Look at Tacky. What is he doing, boys and girls? He is surely different, isn't he, boys and girls? Now, let's see if your prediction was right. I say he does cannonballs, which are like flips into the water where everybody else like dives. His companions were graceful divers, but Tacky liked to do splashy cannonballs. Look at him. Those are cannonballs, all right. Look at the water go everywhere. Goodly, lovely, angel, neatly and perfect, always sang pretty songs like Sunrise on the Iceberg. But Tacky always sang songs like, how many toes does a fish have? A fish does not have any toes, boys and girls. Tacky was an odd bird. Boys and girls, what genre is this book? Genre means, is this a fiction or is it nonfiction? Is it fantasy? Is it a biography? So I'm going to give you 2 choices. Is it fiction? It's pretend or make-believe? Or is it nonfiction? It can happen in real life. Fiction, it's pretend or make-believe because penguins do not sing or talk to one another, boys and girls. One day the penguins heard the thump, thump, thump of feet in the distance. This could mean only one thing. Hunters had come. Uh-oh. Are they hunting for the penguins? Boys and girls, who is our main character in this story? Who are we going to see the most of? You're right, it's Tacky, the penguin. And the rest of the animals are characters. But Tacky is the main character. And boys and girls, characters don't have to be people. They can be animals too. Then we have the words thump, thump, thump. These are called onomatopoeia words, which are sound words, like clickety-clack, clickety-clack, clickety-clack. They came with maps and traps and rocks and locks, and they were rough and tough as the thump, thump, thump drew closer. The penguins could hear the growly voices chanting, "We're going to catch some pretty penguins, and we'll march them with a switch, and we'll sell them for $1 and get rich, rich, rich." And there are the hunters, boys and girls. We saw them on the cover. I wonder if they're going to capture any penguins, boys and girls. Goodly, lovely angel, neatly and perfect, ran away in fright. Boys and girls, they were scared. They hid behind a block of ice. So here they are hiding, but I don't think that Tacky hid behind the ice. Is he going to be the brave one and save them from the hunters? Let's find out. Tacky stood alone. He did not go behind the block of ice. The hunters marched right up to him, chanting, "We're gonna catch some pretty penguins, and we'll march them with a switch. We'll sell them for $1 and get rich, rich, rich." So here they are having a conversation with Tacky. And boys and girls, those are foxes, sly foxes. They're usually mean in the stories. "What's happening?" blared Tacky, giving one hunter a specially hearty slap on the back. They growled, "We're hunting for penguins. That's what's happening." "Penguins?" said Tacky. "Do you mean those birds that march neatly in a row?" And he marched 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 3, 6, 0, 2.5, and 0. The hunters looked puzzled. That's not what penguins do. They march 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. "Do you mean those birds that dive so gracefully?" Tacky asked. And he did a splashy cannonball. The hunters looked wet. That's what they get for being so mean. "Do you mean those birds that sing such pretty songs?" Tacky began to sing, and from behind the block of ice came the voices of his companions, all singing as loudly and dreadfully as they could. "How many toes does a fish have? And how many wings on a cow? I wonder, I wonder. I think the hunters have had enough. They are blocking their ears, boys and girls. This penguin is strange. I wonder if they're going to leave the penguins alone. Is Tacky going to save the day or not save the day? Let's find out. The hunters could not stand the horrible singing. This could not be the land of the pretty penguins. They ran away with their hands clasped tightly over their ears, like this, boys and girls. I can't take it anymore. Leaving behind their maps, traps, rocks, and locks, and not looking at all rough and tough anymore, boys and girls. There they are, running off and leaving all their things behind. Have you ever seen penguins before, boys and girls? I have too, boys and girls. I have seen them in the Detroit Zoo because I live in the state of Michigan and I've seen a penguin exhibit. They are truly beautiful and unique. And that's what I like about them. Goodly, lovely angel, neatly and perfect, hugged Tacky. Tacky was an odd bird, but a very nice bird to have around. So boys and girls, it is okay to be different from other people. Matter of fact, this is Be Like's being different from others and being unique and standing out. I don't want to follow people. I want to be the leader. And that's what I saw Tacky doing, being a leader. The end, boys and girls. What did you think about this story, Tacky the Penguin? If you liked it, give it a thumbs up. If you did not like it, give it a thumbs down. I gave it a thumbs up, boys and girls, too. I really enjoyed sharing the story with all of you. Now, I have several questions about the story, so I want to see if you were paying attention. Boys and girls, who is the author of Tacky the Penguin? Was it Helen Lester or Jan Brett? It was Helen Lester. Good job, boys and girls. Jan Brett is also a famous children's literature writer, but not this book. What was different about Tacky? He sang funny songs. He wore different clothes. He marched out of order, or all of the above, all of the answers. All of the above. He sang funny songs. He wore different clothes. And he definitely marched out of order. He marched to his own tune. How many friends did Tacky have in the book? Did he have 2 or 5? He had 5. Good job. What did the hunters want? To fish or to hunt for penguins? To hunt for penguins. What did Tacky's friends do when they saw the hunters? Did they go for a swim or run away? They ran away. How did Tacky greet the hunters and all of his friends? Did he punch them in the arm or slap them on the back? Slap him on the back. What did Tacky do to drive away the hunters? Did he yell or skip or sing? He sang. Good job, boys and girls. What does the word odd mean? Does it mean ununique, one of a kind, unusual, or all of the above? All of the above means to be odd. He was unique, he was one of a kind, and he was unusual. What does companion mean, boys and girls? Is it a person who likes to swim or a person who spends time with others? Companion is another word for friend, so that'll give you a clue. A person who spends time with others. Tacky blared out the song. Ooh, what does blared mean? To sing quietly? Or did he yell the song out loud? He yelled the song out loud. And we have 2, 3, 4, a couple more questions. Tacky looked around with a puzzled look. What does puzzled mean? Tired or confused? Confused. Good job. Tacky's friends liked him because he was different. True or false? True. Tacky always marched 1, 2, 3. True or false? False. He used to march to his own tune, boys and girls. Tacky was a graceful diver. True or false? False. Remember, he did cannonballs and splashed everyone that was around. Boys and girls, what did Tacky do to convince the hunters that they were not pretty penguins? He did a couple things. He marched on beat or off beat. He marched off beat. That made the hunters puzzled. And he did a splashy cannonball. And he sang on or off tune. He sang off tune. Good job, boys and girls. Parents, grandparents, older brothers and sisters, I have 2 activities that I would like for you to do at home with your child. Now, sequencing means that you tell the story in the order of events that had happened. So like first, next, then, and last. I want them to use those 4 words when creating a book in which order the story happened, Tacky the Penguin. So you're going to fold several sheets of paper and then on the end staple it. On the cover, you're going to put Tacky the Penguin. So I want you to write things on a separate sheet of paper for them and then they can copy it onto their book. So that's their cover. And then on the inside, you're going to put on the first page, first, and what happened first? First, comma, Tacky was an odd bird. Then you're going to write that out for your child, and then I want them to illustrate it. I want them to draw a picture or paint it. Next, I want you to use the next. These are transition words that the child will used when sequencing or doing order of events. Next, the hunters came. So next, comma, the hunters came. And then illustrate a picture. Then the penguins hid. So then, comma, the penguins hid. And then illustrate a picture. And then last, comma, the hunters ran away. And then illustrate a picture. When they are done, they can show other family members, or if they are enrolled in school, they can show the teacher and their classmates during show and tell. Now, the other thing that I have is for you is there are a total of, I believe, 5 Tacky books. And you can get them from your local public library and check them out. If you really want all 5 books, then you can go on Amazon and order them so that you have them in your home or at your local bookstore and order it there, or if they have them in stock. And what I want you to do is, for all 5 books, I want you to list the characters in the 5 books. So you're doing a comparison and a contrast, how they are similar, how they are different. Then after you list the characters with your child, I want a beginning, middle, and end, because boys and girls, stories all have a beginning, a middle, and an end. So for each story, for each of the books, you're going to list the characters. Then you're going to do beginning, middle, and end for all 5 books, Tacky books. So you can draw lines with the rulers or straight edge, so they're nice and straight, so that you're going to have 5 columns for 5 books. And then you can discuss it with your child, how they are alike and how they are different. I have one last surprise for you, boys and girls. I have a visitor here in my classroom. This is my mini classroom inside of my house, and this is also my office. And this is where I work with students 7 days a week. I have a round table that I sit with, and then I have a dry erase board that's on a stand that I do a lot of writing on when I teach lessons. Boys and girls, who is my visitor? It's my friendly monster. He helps me out in my classroom with the boys and girls. Would you like to say goodbye to all the boys and girls around the world? Oh, boys and girls, reading is fundamental, and I want to thank you for joining Mrs. B today for our very special Read Aloud, and I hope you can join us again soon. Bye for now, boys and girls.